Hey guys, it is Sunday evening here in the Philippines, and I'm going to go ahead and do that bonus premium unboxing I mentioned today for next week. Because I have a feeling I'll be too busy at the beginning of the week and I will not get around to it for you guys. So it's going to be BM Creations, their new FJ Cruiser, which I'm really stoked about. That's why I brought out the Pajero, just to kind of give you guys a quick spin around on it again toward the end. Just he's there in the background for some eye candy while I do my spiel on the FJ. This one I've been really excited about was due to be released back in May. But actually, we still haven't gotten them at the one hobby shop that I pre-ordered them from. This actually came from another source here in Manila. Luckily, they weren't sold out, so I was able to obtain one for almost the same price. And really, for the money for these caliber of vehicles, you cannot beat them. They're between like 12 to 15 bucks SRP here. I think the Pajero, I paid a little more than I did for the FJ, actually. I think the Pajero I paid like 14 bucks for, and then the FJ I paid about 12 bucks for. The FJ that I got, that I'm going to show you guys in a moment, I had to buy in a package deal, but it did come out to where the FJ was 580 pesos. The Pajero, I think, was around 650. So that's why I said there. Pajero is a little bit more, but I think nowadays you can get that model that's sitting in front of you, the blacked out one, for probably about 600 pesos, about 12 bucks, something like that. So, anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. Here he is in the box. Great looking car. Well, SUV. And I know some people complain about some of the quality on the BM Creations. But to be honest with you guys, they put, like any other company that I can think of, to shame that has opening parts for the same price. Like, for example, like, I guess company that would be comparable, like for American Diecast, would be M2. M2 is horrible with their doors and their hoods and such, with the body lines lining up. BM Creations, I guess, has some issues with their bug eye STIs and their Evos. I think it's like Evo 4 or Evo 5, something like that. But anyways, people complain about how the doors line up, how the mirrors are, and such things like that. But honestly, like, it's very hard on 164th to get the gaps and body lines right if you are going to have opening parts. That's why I prefer not to even have opening pieces on my 164 stuff. The only company that does this, like, semi-successfully is Auto World, but they only do opening hoods and, like, tailgates and such. They never messed with opening doors because it does kind of hurt the, just, like, consistency of the body lines, in my opinion. So anyways, let's get him out though and take a look at him, because as I said, for BM Creations, I will say they do better than anyone else that I know of. Like, Tamika tries to do it sometimes too, and their door gaps are way too big. M2 does it, and they don't, like, I don't know what they do, actually. To be honest with you, I don't know if they cast the pieces separately from the bodies. Like, I don't know, like, why sometimes the doors fit horribly. Like, they don't even close. Like, you have worn out door pins or something. They sag, they drop down. And then some castings are great, but I prefer to buy my M2 stuff without opening pieces because of that problem. Opening hoods are okay. Like, sometimes even a little bit of a mislined, like, hood gap I can deal with. Like green light, sometimes their hoods don't close properly, but it's okay. I mean, like, I would prefer that they did close properly, but anyways, it's much better than, like, the consistency of M2. But anyways, going back to our BM Creations, here is your FJ. Then let me do a spin around on the box like I do with the Mini GT stuff. There's not a lot to see here, though. Like, as I said, you have the window here for being able to see the vehicle. This little area here is there because they do have accessories, as you can see here. and we'll go over those when we unbox him. On this end cap, you just have the Toyota FJ Cruiser, scale 164, and these are true to scale. Then you have scale 164, Toyota FJ Cruiser. You have where to find BM creations on the web, where to find them on Facebook, and where to find them on Instagram. And then you also have their headquarters address there. And then you have all the licensing for Toyota, the FJ Cruiser. This is the blue left-hand drive, and they were having pre-orders for left hand and right hand. Comes in blue and yellow. The only ones we were getting here at the one hobby shop right at the moment are left hand. Even the place in Hong Kong that I can get these from too, I think are left hand. Hobby stock, on the other hand, I can't find where their pre-order is. I don't know if they erased it or what, but that's who I pre-ordered from, and they were taking orders for both as far as what I can remember. On the bottom side, you just have like exact scale ornamental model for adult collector. Then your choking hazards and all of this stuff. So that's pretty much the box. Now, when I said they are exact 164, I did measure it to make sure, because these are like 467 centimeters long. As I said, I use centimeters because it's a little easier to figure. So anyways, 467 divided by 64 is like 7.2. I measured this with my half-ass Taylor measuring tape, and it comes out to be 7. But as I said, mine may be a little bit off. So if anything, it's a hair small. But honestly, I think it's pretty damn accurate. To me, anyways. So let's get this guy out, and we'll set him to the side first, and we'll take a look at our accessories. Comes with a roof rack, which I actually thought these were gonna like snap on or something like this, but they don't. They have the little, well, like almost like factory mounting brackets, and you can set it on there to kind of get the idea of what it would look like. If you were to put it on, it doesn't glue on or anything like that. They have like little grip like stickers, and I will show those to you guys. Let me dump these tires out. And this is kind of like a fabric like sticker. It's like a little abrasive, not a lot though, like I don't know, kind of like the stiffer side of like Velcro, where it wouldn't scratch the paint, put it that way, but it would give it enough friction where it won't slide off the roof. That way you can set it on there and it will display nice, and if you have to move it a little bit, it won't fall off. But if you want to take it off, you just pull it right off. So that's kind of a cool feature. But one thing I noticed with it, like if you do place it right, let me see if I can hold this and bring it to the camera for you guys. Yeah, it looks like it will be okay. As you can see, the front brackets are kind of hovering. The back 4, they fit pretty good. Like, even if you go back all the way to the back edge, because as you can see, the back ones do taper downward like they are supposed to go with the roof line. The front ones still hover. Actually, it gets worse the further back you go. So it's not going to set there so well. So, anyways, I probably will never put mine on. Kind of just like the mud flaps on my Pajero. I never put them on. As you can see here, actually, here are my accessories for my Pajero. I just keep him in his box when I have him on display. So, yeah, the mud flaps I never did anything with. And I think it comes with like a double-sided sticker tape thing. That's what they give you with the Pajero for the mud flaps. I don't know exactly how that works. And I'm assuming that those were for the mud flaps. But anyways, yeah, it didn't zoom in too good. Sorry about that. But we're not focusing on the Pajero. I did do a video on it, and I will leave the clip at the end of this video on the left-hand side so you guys can go back and look at the video on the Pajero. So this is all about the FJ. So we have that roof rack there. And we also have 5 tires, actually, that they give you. 5 white letter tires. They also give you an extra screw. For what reason, I don't know. as you can see, in our accessories, they give you a spare Phillips head screw. I guess that's if you lose yours when you're trying to mod this, but this doesn't have anything like the Mitsubishis or like the Toyota Corollas from the, I think, early 90s. Those were pretty much a hit here. When they came out, they sold out like instantly. But anyways, they have like different wheels, different stance, different like camber and things like that that you can do to it. And this doesn't have anything like that. It just has these white letter tires. These white letter tires, I thought they were going to be like BFG or something like that, but they're BM Creations, and it's okay. And I understand, like, they're trying to market their product, and they figure, like, if nobody knows what this car was or who manufactured it, when you're looking at your friend's collection, you would see these white letters that say BM Creations, and that would kind of, like, I don't know, intrigue you to look that name up or something, I guess. But BM Creations 4x4, as you can see. So that's the same thing that came with the Pajero. I think they gave you 5 also because you have that spare on the roof. I'm not going to use these. I'm just going to use the black walls. If they would have been white letter BFGs or something like that, or Yokohama or something, I would have maybe changed them. But honestly, I'm more of a black wall kind of guy. Anyways, even with my muscle cars and such, I prefer black walls. So yeah, not really that big of a deal, but it's kind of a good marketing ploy on their part. So anyways, going to the FJ himself. Now, just like the Pajero, it does have opening doors, and they don't give you anything to kind of help pry these open. So these open a little easier than the Pajero, though. You just push on the mirror slightly, and it will help push this open. I think the mirror is part of the metal casting, so you don't have to really worry about breaking it off. I still wouldn't force it, though, because it may break off. As you can see, nicely detailed, like steering wheel, dash, and your seats. Then we'll spin around and open the other door. And as you can see, the door gaps are nice. I mean, even the real ones have that, like, right at the A-pillar, that gap there. Gaps are pretty nice. It would have been better if there would have been a little more defined gap for the suicide rear door. But it's not that defined. But really, no biggie. As you can see, nice interior. This side's a little more defined. Maybe this side just got filled in with paint a little bit. No, maybe it's just my lighting from that angle. That's the problem with four-door vehicles, that if you do have the opening front doors and you do a great job with the gaps and everything, like BM Creations did on this one in particular, that rear one not having the defined gap kind of takes away from it a little bit. But since these are like, as you could say, like extended cab-like type doors for a pickup, it doesn't really affect it that much. Because even the extended cab-like pickup doors, when they used to do like the reverse, like suicide, I call it, opening, they were made to be very subtle and discreet, where you shouldn't be able to even tell they were there. But the cab of a truck ends there, so they can kind of hide that gap. But anyways, this one doesn't, but anyways, not too bad though. I mean, for opening doors, I'm going to say they did a fantastic job with their gaps. They're not too big. The doors open very easily. And they did a nice job with like the door jamb itself. As you can see, it's very nicely defined in there. They did a hell of a job, actually. So I'm very pleased with this vehicle. Now, let's close up the door. And it does have the window frame and such, so they didn't chintz on that. Sometimes the cars with the like full window frames and they have opening doors, Tamika's notorious for this, as they would have opening doors that should have had a window frame and there's no window frame there. The other manufacturers are notorious for doing this too, like Matchbox and others and stuff. As you can see, like here, the body line doesn't line up perfectly on the rocker, but still, it's pretty damn good though. There are a couple little micro bubbles on the driver's door in the paint. I think that's just something got in the paint, like a little bit of dirt. That's the only paint flaw that I've seen, but I have an OCD for like paint bubbles. Even Mini GT gets that, as I pointed out with my Japan, I think Nagoya, something like that, LBWK Hobby Shop. Black GTR, it has some issues at the passenger door, but very, very discreet, but still they bother me. So it's something that I always like point out to people. But anyways, turning this thing around, looking at the rest of the vehicle, there's no manufacturing flaws at all that I could see except for those couple little bubbles on the driver's door. Beautiful job with the Toyota emblem in the grille. You have acrylic headlights, amber acrylic turn signals, your FJ Cruiser plate, and then you have the detailed wiper and cowl area, the silver painted mirrors, which are great looking, your authentic looking FJ wheels, and rubber tires, of course. Then you have red acrylic taillight lenses. Cool little Toyota emblem there. And then your spare tire cover and rubber tire. Another FJ plate. Your detailed bumpers with the red marker lights. And then silver bumper ends. And then one of the other features, fully working suspension, as you can see. And they take it to the next step. The rear end's even separate. As you can see, has your rear control arms, and it does fully function. Nice detail with the exhaust. Nice detailed chassis. Plastic chassis. That would be the only downside with the price. But a lot of these high-end manufacturers nowadays have plastic chassis. That's why I praise Mini GT over all the rest. Hands down, nobody can compare to them for the money. Mini GT takes the win for American brands, Euro brands, and Japanese brands, Chinese brands, wherever. They are the best when it comes to getting more bang for the buck. Because metal on metal and everything like that. But BM Creations is pretty cool too with the functioning suspension. As you can see, like here, that front cross member actually moves. It is actually, if you push on the cross member, it moves. So very cool, very nicely done with the skid plates, everything. So put him down here. Pretty cool. So for the money, I highly recommend that vehicle. Beautifully done. Same thing with this. If you haven't picked it up yet, the Pajero. Nice one. Also has that functioning rear end. Their front suspension doesn't have like the cross member you can push them like the FJ. Separate gas cans for more detail, and it comes with spare tires and such. And also opening doors. This one, it's a little bit harder to open the doors, so I'm not going to force him, but you can get the idea. But anyways, I did a video on this a while back. I will leave the link here on the left. And then later this week, I will be back to you guys with another premium unboxing, and I have a smorgasbord, I guess you could call it, of cars. We have a couple of M2, a couple of Auto World, a couple of Green Light, and even a Par 64. Hopefully it will be here in time when I do the video. So we have 6 or 7 pieces to take a look at. Some fairly newer stuff, couple older releases, but most of it's been like released, say, in the second to third quarter of 2021. So we'll take a look at them come late in the week. And then if you guys have not subscribed yet, please remember to do so. I left the icon here on the right for this. And then, once again, the icon here on the left is for the BM Creations Pajero unboxing. So check that out too, guys. Enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you later in the week. Thanks for watching.